sometimes we prepare our visuals or maybe diagrams in PowerPoint by using shapes. For example, here in this slide, we have a number of shapes here, like this one. It's like a rectangle or a rectangular shape with rounded edges. Like I think all of these are the same, and you have an arrow shape right here. Okay. So if you want to have same sized shapes in here, you might want to use a command that allows you to just duplicate an existing shape instead of inserting individual shapes to produce this diagram. So let me just demonstrate that here in a new slide. I will be inserting a shape here. So I'll go to Insert, Shape. I'll just choose maybe the same shape there, the rounded rectangle shape, and then produce one. Just click and drag. There you go. Maybe I'll just call this shape, let's say I'll just call this process 1. Okay. Now typically our tendency is to produce the same shape. If we require the same shape again, we'll go back there, right? Insert, and then I'll go back to shapes and choose the same shape here and insert it once again. However, it may be possible that this shape is not exact. These two shapes are not exactly the same in terms of size. Okay, so the better way to work with this or in this type of situation is, let me just delete this, is to duplicate the existing shape so you have exactly the same shape to work on. Okay, so, and they will be exactly the same in size and color and format. So it is best, before you duplicate anything, if you want to produce more or less the same type of shape, you need to achieve that shape that you want, you know, the right size and maybe the right format. Let's say I want a different color for this. Let me try a different color for my shape here. Maybe this one here with a little shadow effect on it. And maybe the text, I'd like the text to be, I'm going to go back here to home and apply some bold. And maybe just as an example, a different color or maybe even a bigger size for the text. There you go. That's exactly how I want this particular shape to look like, and all other shapes that will follow this. So what I'll do to duplicate this shape is to select it, and then one way, I'm going to talk about two ways to duplicate it. One way is by holding the Control key and then drag the shape. There you go. Now you have another copy of that same shape. Another way to duplicate it is by simply selecting the shape. This time I'm going to select the second shape here, and I will just press Control D. There you go. See, there's now a duplicate just on top of this one, this previous shape here. Now I'm going to drag this over here, and now I'm going to select this third shape and press Control D once again. There you go. So I have now 4 shapes. They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same format, and I don't have to insert the same shape every time by clicking Insert and then Shape, okay, or that particular shape. So what I'm going to do now is to maybe just change this to process 2, this one to process 3, and this other one process 4. Now let me perform the same action by going to Insert and select the arrow over here. I'm going to choose this thick arrow here this time. Produce that arrow right here in between. So let's say that's exactly how I want the arrow to appear, and I just want to duplicate that instead of inserting it once again. Control D, there you go, and drag it over here. Control D once again. There you go. So I've completed this simple diagram using shapes in PowerPoint. So just remember, if you want to duplicate any object, even photos or other objects like text boxes and shapes, just select the shape or the object and then hold the Control key and drag it. And the other way is by selecting the object and pressing Control D on the keyboard.